All right. Welcome or welcome back to the Awareness Channel. My name is TC. So today I'm not going to talk about politics. I'm not going to talk about culture. I'm not going to talk about um, any of that stuff. That stuff gets you in trouble. But what I am going to talk about is something that is a little closer to home, a little near and dear to my heart, really. I'm going to talk about relationships. I'm talk about love. But I'm not going to talk about the kind of love that, get people all giddy and happy inside. I'm talking about the type that hurts and is can be damaging to your soul. I'm talking about when you stay with somebody, right? Far, far longer than you should have. I'm talking about when you should let somebody go, but you keep them around far longer than any purpose they might serve. Really. You keep them around far longer than any purpose they might serve. I mean, sometimes you got somebody that's lying to you, you got somebody that's cheating on you, sometimes you got somebody that's emotionally abusive to you, and you just can't walk away from it. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I've been there. I've been whipped. I've been condescended to. I had women try to go out their way to hurt my feelings. Hell, I've been married 3 times. Had a bunch of relationships. Some good, some not so much. But there were some that I let carry on way longer than I should have. Because I had, this thing for these women, you know? Some of it was fear, but I had this thing for these women that I couldn't explain at the time. And now, as I'm older and I'm looking back and I'm more analytical about shit, I know what it was. Sometimes I had like an emotional addiction to a woman. I'd be like stuck in the honeymoon phase with a broad. I mean, I'd be like every time I see her, I get a motherfucking dopamine hit. She was like a drug for me. She was so damn fine. Blah 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 blah. And and you stuck in that phase, and they know it too. You know, but you keep going back to them. You keep going back to them because you emotionally addicted to that dopamine hit. It's like a fucking drug. And then there was other times. Yeah, it's like a drug. You like addicted to that feeling. You can be addicted to a person, or a quality of a person as well. You can be addicted to the person. You can be addicted to a quality that that person has. But anyway, you can be stuck on somebody's potential. You hooked on what this motherfucker or this girl could possibly be if you just stick around long enough. And they cheating on you, lying to you, and you a member of a whole team of individuals they messing with, but you hanging in there because you see potential and you want to be part of whatever this person produces if they ever produce it, which they never do. All they doing is, they got a side hustle that they good at, but they got a regular job. And they ain't gonna quit their regular job to do their motherfucking side hustle because their regular job is all they really want to do. The side hustle is just that. But you see something in them that they ain't even trying to develop. And you waiting around for a version of a person that ain't never gonna fucking show up. You should go live out your potential and stop waiting on this individual. I had to learn that shit too. That usually didn't take long for me though, because I usually could see that in a matter of a few weeks. If somebody talking about some shit but ain't never gonna do it, talking about I'm gonna do this and I ain't got nothing, but some ideas, I usually caught on to that pretty quick. But I used to get involved. The first emotionally involved is where I would always be stuck at because I always never needed anything in a material way from a woman other than you know other than just loyalty. But I would counsel myself. I would go in the weight room. I would turn the music off. Mostly I train the music because it make me train faster. But I turn the music off. No sound. Just me and the weights. And I go through my workout. And in between sets, I take about 3 minutes in between sets. I would talk to myself. I would meditate. I would sort shit out. I would sort everything out with regard to this relationship. I would decide whether this relationship is stagnated. I would realize whether this relationship could go anywhere. I would look at long term ramifications. I would look at all of that shit. And then I would come up with a way to end it that was peaceful and amicable, and neither one of us would be angry with the other one because we both see that us parting company is the best thing for us to have peace in our lives. And I would deliver that message to her. Sometimes I would say, look at here, it is what it is. We'd get along better if we lived separate lives. Or another way I've done it was we'd be sitting down, we'd be having some dinner or something, and I'd be like, look at here, don't give me no more money. Don't pay no more utilities around here. Don't put no more groceries in the house. Just use your money for the next 30 days to go find you somewhere to be at. You know. And that is the smoothest landing I could give somebody. That's the smoothest landing I could give somebody right there. Because at some point, you got to understand what's good for your own self. At some point, you got to choose yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you something, man. It ain't never too old. You ain't never too old to start over. Cause my third marriage didn't happen till I was in my 50s, and that's what it took. But along the way, I knew what I needed. I always knew what I needed because you know there were long periods of time where when I was dating, and like I said, some of them I kept some of them going longer than I should have. But along the way, I would learn that it's okay for me to be by myself. I don't need to be. I don't need to fear being alone. I don't need to fear, uh, you know, starting over. I don't need to fear seeing them with somebody else. I don't need to fear none of that shit. I remember one time I was young, I early 20s, but I had a good mentor. And my mentor and me, we go out to the bar, to the club, and my ex and her new man would come in. And I'd always motherfucking get up and leave and go to another club. Let me, I gotta get the fuck out of here. And my mentor told me, he said, yo, where you going? I said, man, I got, he said, no, we not. We ain't going no motherfucking where. He said, you can't leave. You got to stay right here in this bitch. And then he'll go buy us 2 beers and we'll stay in that motherfucker. And sooner or later, They leave. They leave. Why? Because her new man couldn't stand the sight of me. You know? The nigga whose house he was sneaking up in, cheating with his wife. He couldn't stand looking at me. And he was worried I made them feel uncomfortable. And I learned that from being told, like I said, by my mentor, who let me know the power I possessed and what to do with it. The power I possessed and what to do with it. So sometimes you got to realize that you your own best motherfucking friend. And you got to look in that mirror and like what's looking back at you. And that's a real everyday man way of giving it to you. Now there's some therapists out there that'll lay it down for you real smooth. And there's Chat GP goddamn T. And there's all kinds of people out there that'll give it to you smooth. But they ain't gonna say nothing that I didn't just say. You feel me? Anyway. Oh, one more thing. Don't be you can't look at yourself and think of yourself as being less than somebody else. Think of yourself as being a coward, afraid, apprehensive, all that type of shit. Don't never look at yourself in a negative light, especially if you know that during the relationship you gave it all you had. You ain't got no little secrets you keeping. You did everything you were supposed to do. And this person is just stuck there. Psh, at the end of the day, choose yourself, choose your peace. Anyway, that's it for now, y'all. Y'all stay strong, stay aware, and stay true to your motherfucking self. TC, and I'm out. Peace.